Thanks for stopping by. I'd like to preface this video by saying it is not a knitting tutorial. And actually, today's video isn't much of a knit with me at all. Welcome to the block party. So, if you're watching this, you'll see that throughout this video, my outfit, my appearance, even maybe my hair and makeup may change, and that is because I'm going to be filming this one in segments to give you guys an idea of what I have knit for my Knit Ahead for the Holiday series and what it looks like as a finished, blocked, and beautiful final piece before I mail it out to my relatives. Now, you may notice that I'm wearing this outfit right now, and in another video I had the same one. And that might happen too because it's not like I have a million clothes. But I did want to get this segment out of the way so that we can continue on with the rest of the video. So, as the introduction, if you are new here, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. So you may know that I do have a playlist of my Knit Ahead for the Holiday series, and the goal of that was to get all of my projects finished before I had to get them sent out by, I think, the December 18th. Don't quote me, but I know I'm going to get a letter in the mail from the post office to tell me what the deadline is to have everything mailed out. So it is to my family before Christmas, and my family does celebrate Christmas, so I'm making sure everything's done by then. So in this daunting tub, I have most of the projects I've completed. At the time of the shooting of this particular segment, I have 2.5 projects that still need to be done, and that are the Chevy wrap, that is for my aunt, and the cozy armchair socks that are for my brother, as well as a Meadow Lane blanket that is for my partner's mother and father. And considering the time constraints with the blanket, I don't know if that's going to be part of this one. I'm so sorry. I am so mad at myself that I am still working on that blanket, and it was last year's project. So that gives you an idea of what my time frame kind of looks like, and my knitting schedule, my motivation, all of the things. But I did want to show you guys what I do have ready to go and what I would like to block. So the blocking party begins. So these socks here are just a simple vanilla sock, nothing fancy, plain cast on. I made these in hopes that they fit my brother's fiance's foot, which she wears a size 9. And if you watch the series, you know that I did a picot edge, which is just a little bit of like a ruffle on the top. And I thought that'd add a little something to these. Even though they're knit with a self-striping yarn, I have to block these guys so that they look all nice and pretty for her. Over here, this is, this is the Dog's Life sweater that I made for my brother and his fiance's dog, Lucy May. She's an American Staffordshire Terrier. She kind of looks like a pit bull, but she's not. I just found out she's not a pit, and I thought she was. But it has these cute little armholes for her little legs, her front legs to stick out. It has this rib knit collar or cuff, and it comes down. So this is the belly part. So when she has it on, the back part goes a little longer over her bum. And so the little part here is where her tummy is going to hang out. So this was 2-piece, two panels knitted. So you knit one, and then you seam it in right here all the way to the top. And I didn't do too bad. This was the second one I knit, so I have 2 of them. So this is for my brother and his fiance's Poochie. This is a Dog's Life sweater or coat, and it's actually a Wool in the Gang pattern that you buy a kit, and it comes with the yarn you need. So I had to buy one kit, and then I purchased yarn separately to make this bigger one, because they didn't have the color in stock at the time of the one I wanted to do for that. And let me go on to the other coat. So this is the first Dog's Life coat I knit. Same thing. This is using their blush color. Pink Blush, I think, is their color. And, oh, by the way, these socks are made in a wool combo blend. I don't have the yarn with me, but if you watch my videos where I work on this sock, you'll be able to know the content when I first start out. This is Superwash Merino, and this is also Superwash Merino, but this is the Wool and the Gangs brand. But yes, another Dog's Life coat, and this is the first one I did. So this is for my cousin's dog. She is a Shih Tzu, I think, like a Shih Tzu / Poodle mix. She's very tiny, but she's not like too small, so this will fit her fine. And it does, of course, stretch. Superwash, so they can throw it in the wash, not too crazy. Don't have to worry about too much care with it. And of course, you have the armholes, 2 panels. So this is the one that I actually bought as the kit because it's the Wool and the Gangs brand yarn as well, and it came with a little pattern book. And so when I made the second one for my brother's dog, I just followed the pattern in the little packet for a larger size dog and bought the right amount of yarn. Though I bought too much yarn, but it's still really nice yarn, and I plan to do something else with the rest that I have. So yes, those are those. Also, cousin related, I made this color block cowl for her. This is from the Knit Yourself Calm pattern book. This is a very easy pattern, and I have just enough yarn left to make another one, and I really want to make one for myself. I tried it on, and I was like, ooh. But no, this is for her. I need to make sure she gets it. I used Hobby Brands yarn. I did a double strand knit with their mohair, their kid mohair yarn, which is silk and baby mohair, and their baby merino, which is just their merino yarn together to get that halo. Add a little bit of cushion to it, as well as the nice squishiness of the merino. And it's knit in the round, and you just change your colors when you're doing your purl, I think. Oh no, when you do your knit. When you do your knit, you add a different color. But yeah, it's just a purl and knit pattern, very simple, which is why it's part of the Knit Yourself Calm pattern book. So it's an easy one to work. And this is a DK weight, by the way. And of course these are worsted weight, if you're curious. Just like adding more details as I go through. These are not holiday for anybody, but these are my janky Raylight socks that I knit for myself the first time. I'm knitting another pair right now for my partner, and I've learned a lot. So this was the reject. Pair 1, or sock 1 reject, where I didn't realize I needed to follow their guide and do like a 3 needle knit instead of a 4. So I had this weird bump right here starting out because my purls were starting on a DPN and not ending, and I had a problem. The second one I did came out a lot better. So these are just going to be for me. But I included them here because they were also projects I finished and will be part of my block party as a whole. Next up, jumping back to my cousin here, my cousin's daughter, I knit her this tam out of the Hats On book. I did a lot of videos with the Hats On book, and then this yarn shop that was going out of business had some buttons, so I just added a cute little flower button. It matches, so I thought it'd be a little nice addition to this tam. But this I used Caron brand Simply Soft yarn, worsted weight, 100% acrylic, and it's in this pretty teal. My cousin's daughter's favorite color is blue, and I'm like, whoop, blues, teals. Daughter of my own heart, though. She's just like my cousin once removed. But I knit tam first for her. It was this one. I didn't even like sew in the end because I messed up on it. So I was like, nope. And this was just with a 1 pound, Caron 1 pound. And it didn't come out as nice. So I said, no, I'm not going to use this one for her. I'll knit it again now that I know how to do all of the things to make this hat. This was a challenge because I had to learn how to do a rib cast on. So it's where you you already start out with the knit and a purl as your cast on. And so hopefully, she's a petite little girl. She's 10. So I'm hoping she'll be able to wear this for a few years as it stretches, and then she'll just be able to pop it on her head for a little longer. But yeah, I like that one. Compared to her brother, so my cousin has twins, boy and girl, and last year I did, by the way, I did do a double knit scarf for her last year, which we used the same color, but it also used like a sky blue. So this hat will go perfectly with the scarf I knit for her last year. And likewise, her brother, I knit him a double knit scarf with like this orangey, rusty color and like a salmon-y color, which actually they use this color. I'll show you this project in a minute, but I use this color and this color together to do a double knit scarf for him. And so this is also from the Hats On book, and this is a stockinette watch cap. He's a little bigger than her, so I made this hat loose. Plus I made their scarves kind of long so they can wear them for a few more seasons while they're still growing and going through growth spurts. And this one actually, I'll show you where I had some problems, because I had to do a tubular cast on so that you see this edge here isn't really an edge at all, but it kind of folds over into the rest of the knitting. And that was tricky because I had to do like a crochet chain and then knit into the chain and do these yarn overs. I'm not doing that anymore. I don't think I have the patience to do that again. Plus, I don't wear hats because I don't really need one, you know? My hair is my hat. But if I'm doing any more for other people, I don't know if I'll do it. It looks nice, but it's not necessary. So it kind of depends on the look I want. It definitely, I think, would be more professional to do this because it does look nice. But time and skill level, I probably need to do some more stuff before I'm ready to try this again. But this is also in, this is an acrylic and polyamide blend, I think. But this is Bearco's Comfort brand yarn, but it's mainly an acrylic base. And what else do I have? Oh, yeah. So, like I mentioned, these are cozy armchair socks. I knit these. These are my first pair of socks I actually knit, and it was before I realized that this heel is called an afterthought heel, as opposed to just a regular heel where you reserve the stitches and then pick up the stitches again and knit. This one you just add them in later. But yeah, I knit these as my first, and actually now that I look at it, my Kitchener stitch closure isn't as bad as I thought it was originally. Now that I've done it a few times, that's just how it looks. But yes, so these also are just for me because I wanted to try out this pattern first, and they're simple, great for when I wear my slip-on, like my clogs and stuff, like Birkenstock style. So these will be good soon. They're good now that it's still pretty cold, but we've had a snowfall, so like on the frosty days or the days where the ground is dry, this would be great to wear with slip-on shoes where you can see my heel and everything. So yes, my 2 pair of socks that I have finished for myself. What else do I have? I should have... Okay, I should have a scarf, one more scarf that I knit, but I don't think I took the tube off yet. So, one moment. So I almost had a heart attack, like literally. I was looking around for this, and I couldn't find it because it wasn't in my it wasn't anywhere I usually would put this. But it was in my tub that I'm going to be using to soak everything. So yes, so this is actually, I haven't yet taken the provisional cast on edge thingy off yet, but this is also a tubular cast on, and you can see we got some string here. Well, maybe you can't see it. I have some string here that I have to weave in, and this is the part where I started, so I have to like make that look all nice. But this is like a really big one. This is the extra large size, and I knit this for my uncle. And this is using Cascade Sport 220 regular. It's not a superwash. I thought I bought superwash, but I didn't. So he's going to have to be extra careful when he washes this. And it's likely going to be slouchy on him. I'm thinking of like how it's going to sit on his head. And he's a bold man. So I thought this would be good for him because he does do handyman work. He's outside a lot doing yard work and things, and I have seen him wear hats like this before, but they were definitely closer to his scalp, like on his skull. But because he has a bigger head, I didn't know how small to make it without it being too tight. So I'd rather have it be a little loose and a little slouchy than like really stuck on his head and look awkward. But I love that it is stretchy, and you know, if he really wanted to shrink it, he could very carefully shrink it, and that could work for him. I know my aunt knows about fabric, so she could probably help him do that if he needed to. But, yeah, this one took a while as well. Because it was a sport weight, I used 2 hanks of that, and I did have a little teeny bit left over, but, you know, if you did a swatch or something, that would have made up for the little bit I had left. But yeah, I have to take this out. This is going to be a pain, but, and sewing this part in, which is why I usually leave these for the last bit. But now is the time. So those are the projects that I have finished right now from my Knit Ahead for the Holidays collection, besides the pairs of socks that I showed you that I'm keeping for myself. I have a couple other scarves that I haven't blocked yet, but they're not like, they're for me. They're not really super cool or anything, so I won't show you those. But join me soon because, or at least stick around, because in a little while you're going to see the blocking party part where I have the items laid out, and then I'll just probably show you what they are and talk a little bit about them, and then when they're all done, we'll meet back here and I'll show you one by one how they look all nice and pretty and straight before it's time to wrap them up and mail them off. So stick tight, or sit tight, or stick around. Merging those two together there. So we'll continue on in a little bit. I have here the tam that I knit for my cousin's daughter, or my cousin once removed, and here it is pinned up on a blocking mat. Here we have, not blocked, but laying out to dry, the Dog's Life coat for my brother's doggy. You can see it's kind of dark because of the water. It's still drying. I decided not to pin it because the water absorption made it a little bit loose, and I don't want to alter the shape too much and just let it naturally kind of dry and shrink because she will be wearing it. Now, down here, I had run out of pins, so I didn't bother pinning this one, but we have the scarf I knit for my friend with the very crazy yarn. So I have it here, and it's just drying right here. Oh, and that's my little Swiffer dude. So yes, we'll continue on with the rest of the items that I have. Okay, disregard any weird background noise, but here I have the 2, or at least the 1 pair of regular socks that I knit for my brother's fiance / my future sister-in-law, and they're kind of baggy looking, honestly, now that I've soaked them. Maybe I should have put them on the blockers and then put them in the wash. I don't know. But they are on wooden blockers, so, oh, I just got a text message. That is why I wasn't sure if the water would absorb into them and then make it hard for me to dry everything out with the wood being wet too. So if it doesn't come out well enough for me, I can always block them again. But yeah, here's another. Here we have the Chevy wrap. I just finished soaking and blocking it, and it is honestly about 2 feet shorter than it should be based on the pattern. However, the pattern also used acrylic wool. You can see it should be about to the end of this little patch I have here, and it is about, so it's like 1.5 feet too short. But considering that my aunt is about my height, so like, well, she's taller than me, so like 5'6" or so, 5'7" maybe, I don't think it'll be too big of an issue for it to just be a little shorter, but I'll see. Otherwise, if she thinks it's too short, I can always block it again, and I like it. So it's just gonna dry like so. I probably add a couple more pins to where it's starting to bow, like around here and anywhere where it doesn't quite line up at the edge of the measurement. But for the most part, I like how it looks. Here we have the hats that I knit for my uncle and my cousin's son. So my cousin once removed. The smaller one is for my younger cousin, who is 10 and a half now, I think. And here is the big head one, the one for my uncle, who is bald man, but he does like to wear skull caps sometimes when he's out working in the cooler weather to keep his head warm. And this one is actually the extra large size. This is the watch cap, the classic watch cap from the Hats On pattern book that I used. And over here we have the stockinette watch cap. And you can see here that the classic is just rib stitch all the way up. It had a tubular cast on that was for both of them with a provisional crochet chain to knit into. And I think we're looking at the back side because I had some issues getting the, yeah, this might be the back. Let me flip it over and see. Yeah, that's the back side. So I'm not going to pin these because I found that when I didn't pin the sweater, the Dog's Life coat, the blue one, it dried just fine. I did shape these a little bit just so that they stay in shape, but I'm hoping that with just the natural drying process that they'll continue to have this form and I won't have to structure it so much because I do want it to be a little bit more loose when they put it on, so not so much structure as like a sweater or a coat or a scarf where you want it to be nice and perfect and lined up. Since it will be molding to a shape, I just thought I'd let it organically lie flat and dry just as they would when they would wash it. Hopefully, if they follow my care instructions, they'll lay flat to dry when they're done. And this one, of course, is the natural wool, and this is an acrylic blend with a little bit of nylon, I believe. I have to look again at the label, but it's the Baraco Comfort yarn line, I believe. So here we have them. Here we have the first knitted Dog's Life coat that I made for my cousin's dog. This one is in the blush pink color. I'm lying it flat, and as you can see, I haven't blocked, like I'm laying it down, but I'm not going to block it because similarly to the teal Dog's Life coat. That's for my brother's dog. It's kind of squishy. I'd rather let it dry organically just in its general shape than actually block it. However, we do have the finished, folded and pretty Chevy wrap that I have finished for my aunt. It was lying flat earlier and I just took it off of the blocking mats because I needed to use some for the Dog's Life coat. So I have it folded up here, ready to go. So we'll take a look at that one a little bit later as well. Here we have the color block cow. I was having a brain fart thinking of what is this one here? So this is the last item I have to block to get to my family, minus the big blanket. That one, I am deciding not to block that, just for my own peace of mind, for my own sanity, I guess. Not really peace of mind, because now I'm worried about it, but for my sanity's sake, I'm not going to block the big blanket. But here is another color block item. So get a little closer here. It is the one that I'm making for my cousin. So its measurement should be 12 by 15 and a half. So because this is pretty long, I'm thinking the 15 and a half is the length and the 12 and a half is the width. It didn't really specify that, but I'll give it a shot. And we'll see here. It probably should be wider than long because it's going to be kind of billowy, but my cousin's pretty petite, so I think this one will be fine for her. And as she wears it, I'm sure putting it over her head a lot of times will eventually make it kind of bag a little. And I'm using a mohair and a merino blend, so I did a double strand for this guy, and it's different than what the pattern just wanted a simple DK weight, but I chose to do a double strand, so I got this nice like plush halo-y. It's a spray block, so you can't really see the wispies, but there's a bit of halo in here, which gives it a nice bit of texture. So hopefully in the next couple days this one will dry and you'll be able to see it before I wrap it up. Here we have everything that I'm going to be using for today's wrapping. I'm going to be out of frame just because it's not so much about me at this point. It's about all of the lovely things I've made. Now, I was on the fence about how exactly I wanted to package and wrap all of this stuff, but I've decided to just do a simple tissue paper with a little bit of ribbon, like really, really basic, because it's all about the projects that I have knit and not so much how they're presented, because that's going to be the surprise when the person opens what they have. And here we have various things that I've been storing throughout the blocking party process, but it's all here for my immediate family, minus, well, my partner's family's blanket is still in the works right now, and I have the scarf that I'm giving to my friend that goes with the the swoop hat that I've been working on, that you guys saw a couple episodes of me working on that. So today is just going to be, or at least this segment of the video is just going to be me labeling things as best as I can and wrapping them also as best as I can. I'm thinking next year I'll go with boxes per items, just small boxes, because a lot of them are going to be socks and things that I won't really need a full wrap for. But let's get started with my aunt's, since that's the closest to me. So we have the Chevy wrap. I have blocked it, folded it up nice here, and this is the front side. So I want, when she opens it, to see what the pattern's going to look like so she knows the orientation of the item. I just gave it a sniff. It doesn't smell stinky wool anymore. I did spray it down with some body mist Febreze, because I could not stand that dry wool smell. I have my arsenal of supplies. I grabbed some Sharpies to use for the tags. I have my tissue paper that I got in bulk from Target. so that I think it was like American Greetings brand, just plain tissue paper. And I have my sewing kit here because I have safety pins, and I want to safety pin the label of the care instructions to it, because there's not really any way to wrap them up without them opening the box it's coming in and then identifying everything, every item that is assigned to somebody. And I have my other labels that are going to go on the outside of the package, as well as the various ribbon that I have that I'm going to tie the package up with. Starting out with the Chevy wrap, I'm going to wrap it first so that it's just already packaged. Oh! Aha! I had stored this in the wrapping as well. This is the hat for my cousin's daughter. So I'll put that over there. And this is the scarf that I've already knit with the funky yarn that I don't really like, and it's going to go with that hat. So I'm going to set this aside since this isn't part of my family's gifts. Additionally, I have the Eucalan wool wash packages that I'm going to give with every knitwear I have. I have some left over from last year. I had ordered Rapture, and they gave me grapefruit, but it was so close to the holiday that I didn't have time to ship them back. So I was fine with that. I mean, I wasn't fine with it, but I was just going to deal. And then this year, they actually got my order right, so I have the Rapture ones, which is like jasmine. Figured that's a nice fresh scent that everybody that I'm giving these to will like. So I have those. Okay, so we are going to keep the 2 pieces of tissue, and I'm going to wrap it from the bottom. So any way works fine. Oh, actually, I'm not going to wrap anything yet. I need to make my label. So we're going to use this. Open it up. Alright, so we have Your Knitworthy, and on the back it has the 2 from Fiber Care, and I have my pouch of old labels. So I'm going to pull out the label that I used for this project. Yeah, I'll give her pink. I'll use this Sharpie. And I'm going to do this part off camera because it's going to have important family information there that I don't want to give away. So all the important info is on the back. Now I'm going to pin it. So I'm going to take my pen. Ooh, I can actually probably weave this through because it doesn't come tied. Let's see. Nah, I'll just do it like this. So you see, oh, you probably got my, I don't know, maybe not. Trying to make sure my hair and stuff doesn't get in the way. tying this is trickier. It doesn't have to be permanent because they're just going to take the tag off, but I still want her to take a look at it. Perfect. Now, give her one of these. Okay. Now I can turn it over and wrap it up. And these are all going in like a flat rate mailer so that I can get as many things shipped in one destination for a lower price. My brother and his fiance are going to have Christmas at my parents' home, aka my aunt and uncle's home, so their gifts can come to them as well, and it won't be a problem. Yeah. So now I can kind of see her her tag, but I don't know what she has, or she doesn't know, and I'm missing my scissors. We'll see if these do anything. So I'll cut some ribbon. Maybe I should make sure this is enough. So wrap it up like that. So yeah, here we have, this is probably, I don't know, is this exciting? Let me know in the comments if watching me haphazardly tie together my family's gifts is something you enjoy. And next year won't be as glamorous because most folks are going to get socks, so it won't be as cool. But I do know whose this is, so I'm not going to put the name label on yet because it's just going to say to my aunt from me, and then I would, tell you who I am. And I'm not quite ready for that, so we won't go there. Okay, this is absolutely not very cute, but that's what's on the inside. So there's for my aunt. Next up, we have, let's do the hats next. So we have all the hats. We can go ahead and do my uncle's. So this is my uncle's hat. You can see it's pretty big now that it's been drying. And this is the back side because I have the little messy part there. So checking around, I don't see any straggling cat fur. Since I live in a home with cats, they do not, so I want to make sure that they don't have any cat fur, because I know I'm going to hear about it if they have cat fur all over their hand knit item. So this one's fine. I'm trying to think how I want to fold it. Maybe like this. Somehow I want it to be presented so he knows this is the front of it. So I might leave it flat. I mean, it's flat enough. Should be okay. And I have some tissue. we'll go ahead and do 2 sheets. Now set that aside. And now I need to find what I used for this hat in my pocket. And I think I have it. Yeah. Alright. We used the Cascade Sport. And here's the care instructions. So 100% Peruvian wool and Peruvian Highland wool, and it says to wash cool, I think, yeah, hand wash, because it's not super wash. So I'll go back into my pouch here. And now that I'm finished with these, I'm going to throw them out because I've completed the project and I don't need to reference these anymore. So they'll just get recycled. And I'll give him a gray one like this. Okay, label is complete. We're just going to add our safety pin. I'm going to put this one on the brim here so that if it snags, it's not going to be... Actually, I'll put it in this little fold right here. Oh. And then I'll have it stick out. So now, there's that. We have our grapefruit wool wash. And we'll go ahead and fold this up together. It's almost like I wonder if they're even going to be able to tell what it is, or if it's going to be too obvious. Alright. Probably too obvious. Cut my string. package number 2. We are at the point where we're going to wrap another hat. The next one up is my cousin's son's hat, and that is this one here. This is the no, not the classic watch cap. This is the stockinette watch cap. The classic watch cap was my uncle's hat. And we can see here, this is going to be the back because of the little owie right there. And this is the front side. So we want this one facing out. And this particular yarn was this one, the Berico Comfort. So we have a 50% super fine nylon, 50% super fine acrylic, and for care, it says machine wash, inside out warm, tumble dry, do not iron. But I'm probably going to say hand wash, or it could say machine wash gentle, tumble dry low, gentle, so that it doesn't get messed up. So I think I'll do that for the tag here. So we'll go ahead and get our tissue paper, 2 sheets. Oh, I already had some out. So we have our 2 sheets, and it'll be like that, and everything folded over. And I used the gray marker for my uncle. And my cousin's son's favorite color is red. However, I don't have a red marker like that anymore. If you guys watched my card making video, you know I used up my skinny red Sharpie and had to use a fat one, so I will, no, he won't like that either. I'll use this orange color. That should be fine. Okay. And for fragrance, I will go with the grapefruit again for the men. And I have my labels. So let me do that off camera. Care is in place. Now on to safety pinning. I keep opening and closing my container because I don't want anything else to fall out of this. Heaven forbid, I have a bunch of needles everywhere. And where I will stick this, since this is the back, I will flip it over, and I'll just do a loop through the brim here, where the cuff bit. Actually, take that back. I'll do it in the fold as well, because this folds down. So if it does get snagged, it won't be as obvious unless it was facing out. Okay, now what? What am I missing? I'm missing something. Here we go. This guy. Put these together. Flip it over. Make sure everything's nice and even. Okay. Voila. I like it. Alright, now we need some string. Cut our string. No, more than that. Okay. Looks like it might be a little short, but that's okay. Oh yeah, this one's short, but that's okay. This is just to keep it till it's open. That's bad. Let me do that again. Actually, I'll keep this for like the socks, and I'll make another one. Or won't. I'm at the end of my line there. So I'll keep this for socks too. And I'll use this one again. Alright, now this is going to give me enough. Perfect. Very cute. I am down to the last hat. This is my cousin's daughter's hat. This is the tam that I knit with you guys, and the little button that I had from the shop that was going out of business. So this should be pretty easy. I don't think she's going to be upset that her brother got a grapefruit wool soak and she got Rapture. So this will be for her. And again, we're going to get 2 pieces of tissue paper. Lay that out. And then, what did we use? We used the Caron Simply Soft acrylic yarn. And it didn't have any kind of specific care instructions, so I'm going to treat it like the hat that I used. Where did it go? I'll treat it like this. 100% acrylic, but the same care instructions. I'll get my label. And this young lady happens to really like blue, so I'll go with the light blue. Alright, we have our label. We have our safety pin. And I think I'm going to go a little different with this one, and I'm going to put it on the little tip right here. Just so it kind of stands out. Okay, and we have our wool soak, like so. Give that a flip. And wrap it up. This one's easier, actually, to wrap, just because it's smaller. So a lot of the tissue paper is just like folding over itself, like so. I wonder if I can. Can I use this short piece I had? Ooh, maybe. Yeah, alright. Oh, oh. Nope. Okay. I tried. I have some twine too that I like to use to wrap gifts, so I might have to use that because I'm running out of ribbon. Oh my gosh. Koji's paw is... Oh. He heard his name. His paw was just jammed under the door over here. Fully stretched. I could have easily just like threw a little ball of yarn or something and hit him, and he would have probably liked that a lot. He loves to play under the door. When I was fostering a young kitten in this room, he would love to just like play with the toys that the kitten had in here under the door. It was really cute. It was like he wanted to play too, but he also didn't want the kitten to be involved. So this is the cat for my cousin's daughter. We are down to the final 4 items. It seems like it might be easier just to do the dogs last and do the socks first so that I can use my little scrap bits of yarn scrap bits of ribbon I have left. And now that I say yarn, I'm thinking next year I should just use yarn to tie these up because I have a ton of scrap yarn that I can use, I'm sure, by the time I finish projects. So here are the simple socks that I knit for my brother's fiance. I used the Pico edge and just did a plain a vanilla sock pattern for the rest of the foot, but the cuff was Pico edge. I hear rustling outside, but the cats are scratching on the scratching post. And I still have a lot of this yarn left. And I believe it's nylon and wool. But I have the package, and I really don't want to fish it out. But I should. So I'll do that. I'll be a good person, and I will look exactly what the fiber content is, even though I'm not using that yarn anymore. I'm back with the yarn, and it wasn't as far away as I thought. I did make quite a mess getting it, but it wasn't buried under anything. And it looks like this content is... Oh, I was off. Okay, so it's 45% cotton, 40% superwash wool, 15% nylon. So that's what these are. And for the socks, because they're not as big, I'll go ahead and use one sheet of tissue and just double roll it. Or double fold it, I should say. And her favorite color is orange, so I'll use orange as her color too. Like that. And these really don't have a front or a back side since they're just socks. That should be nice. I'm like looking around like, okay, where did I put my... Put my content labels. Like not these. I haven't opened these yet. But where are the other ones? Oh. Found them. They were behind me. If you hear some barking, it's my neighbor, one of their dogs. I don't have any dogs. Okay, so we're at the point where we're gonna safety pin the tag to the sock somewhere. I'm thinking maybe through the toes? Nah, I could probably do it. Oh yeah, okay, because I have this, where you knit the picot edge, you had to fold it over and then attach it to the rest of the cuff, so this would be perfect, because it's not visible and it's still connected. So this will be nice for her. Alright. And I think we're going with Rapture for her wool silk package. So there we go. She'll have this together. Give it a flip. Maybe I can like roll it like a Chipotle burrito or something. Just tuck everything underneath it. Seems safe, I think. We'll go ahead and tie that up. Well, step one, learn how to tie. There we go. but not the worst. Right, here we are, our second pair of socks. These giant boots are my brother's, and I used this sock slippery stuff so that when he wears them on hardwood floors, he has some grip. It's not like a full thing, but it's there enough that he should be okay. But I imagine, I don't know the quality of this product, I haven't used it before, so I don't know how long they're going to be in this state before they start falling off. But if it happens, I can always add them again for him. So this is going to be pretty easy. This is just superwash wool. Where is my... I think I still had the wrapper for my Swish yarn, but maybe not. Maybe not. It was part of the yarn that I gave to my coworker who was looking for donations. So I think that's part of the donation stuff. So let's go ahead and give him this color as his label. Now for presentation purposes, I'm going to go like this as well. And I don't have any really cute inside loop thing to hide. So we'll just have a regular safety pin coming out of the cuff. I'll put this here for now. So we have our cuff. And I think we'll give him the same one, the grapefruit. And we'll flip it over. Still won't know what it is, but he will know it's something, right? So it's not too much of a secret, but they know they're getting knit goods. It's just a matter of what. What is it? What is the knit good? You don't know. Okay, nice and simple. I am super miffed now because I was busy filming yesterday on a Tuesday night, and my phone, because my phone had too many things already saved to it, decided it didn't want to record any more video. So I am recapping where I left off with you guys to the point when I realized I had not been recording anything and was just talking to the air. So this I actually rewrapped. It's the Dog's Life coat for my brother's dog. He and his fiance's dog. It's their doggy's coat wrapped up here, and I actually changed the orientation of the paper. I don't know if you guys got to see that or not, so if so, here is a revisit, and if not, I did wrap up the doggy sweater, and it didn't look very good the first time around, but I angled the paper so that the points come together on an angle, and it made it look a lot neater this way. So here is the blue Dog's Life coat that I wrapped up for their family. Next up, we have the last two items. This, I was in the middle of filming when I realized I was going to stop the film to keep track of the time, and I wasn't recording at all. So this is the Dog's Life coat from my cousin's dog, and we have the wool soak we'll use for that, as well as the label, and it already has the fiber and care information on the back of the tag. And with a little bit of finessing, I can use more of the Sakata yarn to wrap the last items I have here, and maybe even this last little strand of green for the one we have over here. So go ahead and wrap this other dog coat up, and I'll do the same thing where I'll put it at an angle. Flip it around like that. So then I have a little bit more surface to work with. Is this the best? No, but that's alright. Alrighty. And now we have it. As I mentioned earlier, none of this is really, I'm not so much worried about the packaging, it's what's inside. That's partly my laziness, and partly the idea that having a nice wrapped gift doesn't always mean the contents is nice. But here you know you're going to get something handmade. It's going to be of good quality fabric, for the most part. Acrylic is, you know, touch and go. It depends on how it was made and spun. But for the most part, all of the contents are going to be super nice. And here, this looks a lot better than the other one I had, or my first attempt. So I'll set this on the side. And lastly, we have my cousin's color block cowl. I blocked it to size. It was supposed to be like 15.5 by 12. Oh, it feels so nice. I actually have enough yarn to make my own, so I'll do that. But for the most part, I'm just going to fold it nice, and my cats are playing crazily outside. Keep it cute, and yeah, she'll have her giving it a sniff real quick. It smells nice. And she'll also get the Rapture wool soak. This is probably the best presentation. And then I'll clip the tag just inside right here. And this segment concludes all of the wrapping. I won't show this one. I think after all of the repeated snafus I've had, you get a gist of what is going on with these packages, making the fiber content label so they know what it is, who it's to, how to care for it, attaching it, adding a little bit of some wool soak so they can care for the garment after they've had it for a bit, and wrapping it in the tissue paper. As you can see, the whole process from knitting to blocking and shaping and all of that stuff did take quite some time. I started this Knit Ahead for the Holiday series back in May, and here it is. The 24th of December, actually, is where I'm filming this segment of the video. And I'm done. I had everything mailed off on Saturday, so I'm so proud to have been able to complete all of that. And it's just been a process, to say the least. Some takeaways that I have from my Christmas knitting this year is one, don't overdo it. Considering I had a lot of different obstacles, it's just as far as like timing and planning and sometimes just not feeling in the mood to knit and just wanting to take a really long nap that day, or having some event to plan for and having to switch gears, really did take into the time that I had available to me to dedicate to knitting. A lot of that is my own planning and motivation setbacks, and at the same time, I'm not a fast knitter as far as fast can be described, and I don't have a lot of time in my day where I'm not spending my weekdays at work and doing things like that. So today I'm actually going to be doing a lot of cleaning and straightening up, because just having a day to prepare for the holiday and unwrapping presents and finding a place to put those presents after I've opened them is going to be a bit. And plus my partner did really want to kind of tackle some reorganization in the home, so that'll be my task later this afternoon. But nonetheless, knitting itself is a time-consuming hobby. It's an expensive hobby, but it's a fun hobby, and it's a rewarding hobby that I do thoroughly enjoy. Even with all of the little bumps and turns around the whole process, I am so glad that I was able to get everything done in time. And I checked the tracking last night, and it looks like all the packages are to where they belong. So my partner's family got their blanket. My aunt had received the giant care package of all the knitwear for her, my uncle, my brother, his fiance, their dog, my cousin, her two children, their dog. So everybody has their gifts. And the last thing is just the stuff that I have for friends here, which is a couple hats and that scarf that I had already finished. But I'll see them later on in the year, so not even maybe around New Year's or so, or a little after that. So them having their gift ready to be opened on Christmas isn't as important as the stuff that had to be shipped out, which was the goal, and I did that. So I'm very happy. So that concludes this series for this 2019 year. And, some takeaways are that I think next year, which is just going to be in a few days, I'm going to focus on smaller projects. A few of you had commented on some suggestions or things that you do to save time and to just knit what you want, have projects ready to go, so when you do have an opportunity to gift somebody something that is knit, then you have like a stockpile of gifts ready. And that is something I want to keep in mind. However, I have discovered the joy of knitting socks and how quickly that can go. So I'm thinking maybe for this holiday season, or this holiday season meaning the 2020 season, that I'll stick to smaller gifts, socks, maybe some more hats, and things that don't take up a lot of supply or a lot of time. And there are some other pattern books that I've looked through where I found cute little things like coasters and coffee cozies and things like that I can knit pretty quickly that will make a small cute gift for friends and family. So I'm kind of thinking to lead that way with smaller gifts that use less yarn, less time, are more portable than like the giant blanket that you guys saw me knitting for forever, and other things like that. And otherwise, I just want to kind of play it by ear. I have a lot of other projects lined up that I want to knit for my own personal use, so you'll see a lot more of that coming up, as well as some other blankets and things that I've just found. And I kind of want to do another video on my channel where I show you some of the patterns that I have lined up for the year, and just to see how I go with all of those. So you guys kind of get a look at what my pattern book collection is, where I found patterns I really like on Ravelry that I'd like to use, and other cool knitwear along the way. And with that, Thank you so much for watching the Knit Ahead for the Holiday series. I'm thrilled that you were able to join me during my knitting adventures and got to learn a lot from you guys about different things within the yarn world and the knitter world, and I hope that I was able to help you finish your projects by having a little background noise while you worked. And with that, I will catch you in the next one. Bye.